Today we are going to see Amsterdam 2022 movies. Before entering into the channel, please subscribe the channel for more videos. In 1918, Bert Berenson is sent by his estranged wife's parents to fight in World War I. While stationed in France, Bert meets and befriends soldier Harold Woodsman. After they sustain injuries in battle, Bert and Harold are nursed back to health by Valerie Vos, an eccentric nurse who makes art out of shrapnel removed from the soldiers, whom they befriend as well. The three move to Amsterdam, where they live together and become close friends until Bert returns to New York City to be with his wife. Harold, who has fallen in love with Valerie and begun a tenuous romantic relationship with her, also leaves to go to New York and fulfill his own aspirations of becoming a lawyer. 15 years later, Bert has opened his own medical practice catering to veterans of the war, and still remains friends with Harold, who is now a lawyer. However, they have not heard from Valerie since they left Amsterdam. Harold asks Bert to perform an autopsy on Bill Meekins, a senator who served as the commander of their regiment during the war, at the behest of Meekins' daughter Elizabeth, who believes that he was murdered. Bert performs the autopsy with the help of nurse Irma St. Clair. The autopsy reveals that Meekins has a considerable amount of poison in his stomach. Bert and Irma theorize that this must have been the cause of death. Bert and Harold meet with Elizabeth to talk about the autopsy results. But then, she is suddenly killed when a hitman pushes her into traffic. The hitman frames Bert and Harold for her death, and they flee as the police arrive. Bert and Harold attempt to find out who had led Elizabeth to hire them in order to clear their names. This leads them to wealthy textile heir Tom Vos and his patronizing wife Libby. They learn that Valerie is Tom's sister and was the one who convinced Elizabeth to hire them, knowing that they were trustworthy. Valerie is under constant supervision by Tom and Libby, who claim that she suffers from a nerve disease. Bert and Harold talk with Tom, who suggests they talk to General Gil Dillenbeck, a famous and decorated veteran who was friends with Meekins. While Bert attempts to contact the general, Harold and Valerie spend the day at her home, where they notice the hitman, Darim Milfax. They follow him to a forced sterilization clinic owned by a mysterious organization known as the Council of Five. After a fight with Milfax, Harold and Valerie reunite with Bert. Valerie takes them to the Waldorf Astoria, New York, where they meet Paul Canterbury and Henry Norcross, Valerie's benefactors from Amsterdam, who are secretly spies in the intelligence community. Paul and Henry explain that the Council of Five are planning to overthrow the American government and that Dillenbeck can help them foil their plot. The trio meet up with General Dillenbeck, who is offered a large sum of money from a man on behalf of an unnamed benefactor to deliver a speech advocating for veterans to forcibly remove President Franklin D. Roosevelt and install him as a puppet dictator instead. The general agrees and plans to speak at a reunion gala Bert and Harold are hosting in order to draw out whoever is behind the plot. At the gala, General Dillenbeck reads his own speech instead of the one he was paid to read. Milfax intends to shoot him for doing so, but Harold and Valerie spot him and are able to stop him in time. Milfax is arrested and the Council of Five are revealed to be four industry leaders, including Tom, who are fanatically obsessed with Benito Mussolini and Adolf Hitler and intend to make America a fascist country. Tom and the other leaders are arrested by the police, but they do not stay inside long and slander General Dillenbeck in the press following their release. General Dillenbeck testifies about the incident to Congress and returns home to live out his life. Harold and Valerie leave the country since they cannot be together in the United States. Bert wishes them farewell and plans to reopen his medical practice and pursue a relationship with Irma,